guys to another episode of Backyard Builds. It's currently the 12th of November. We currently have 8 weeks until Summernats. This here behind me is my 1958 F100 that we introduced in the last episode. So at the moment, as you can see, there's no motor in it. We've pulled the front clip off, put some footage of that first. The reason why we needed to strip the truck back or take the front clip off was it's just purely easier to do what we need to do to put the motor and box in. So currently got a 352 cube FE, so that's under 20% of original capacity. Truck was originally either a 6-cylinder or Y block truck. Biggest Y block is 312, so we're definitely under the 20% increase. So no power increase. So all we really need to do is get the engine mounts, transmission mount looked at. So we're going to go through why we needed to pull the front off and show you what we actually need to fix. So it is 110% easier to fix with that front sheet metal off and work out where we're going from here. So this is it, 8 weeks. Let's see how far we can get. The truck's a little bit rough. So there's a few things that I'm really not happy with, or a few things that are really not the best. First is, it's got these little front notches. So chances are, we're actually going to sit the motor in here first today, just to put the weight of the motor and box on the truck itself. I'm going to check for clearance and see if we can get away with actually cutting those notches out and turning it to like an original chassis. So we'll put 3mm folded section in there, rebox it, make it stronger than ever, and then build the motor mounts off that. That's the first thing I wanted to fix. So that's really hard to climb in and out of the front sheet metal to do that. So by taking it off, way easier. So as you can see, terrible welds. Transmission cross members from the original still half left in there, just axed out. That side they've cut halfway through and then left. So little things like that need to be fixed, addressed and rectified. Brake mount, cool number plate. Would have been cooler if someone didn't chisel and hammer it through. That is literally what they've done to get it out of the way. So we'll be taking that off and we'll fix that part of the firewall. Front steering, front bearings and bushes need to be done. Ball joints, everything like that we can't actually get, so we're going to have to work out what we can do there. Chances are we'll modify it and convert it to like a Heims joint. Keep the adjustability there and just make it future proof. So let's start cutting this shit out. So it's pretty important to have a few kinds of cutting methods when you've got to remove some stuff. So first of all, I've got the grinder and also a Recipro. So Recipro is really good for cutting things off like excess exhaust tube, and the grinder is good for doing stuff like this. So what my plan is we're going to try and cut down through this really shitty weld here, remove it out, remove this plate out, just so I can put a bar through here to sit the motor on, to see if it's going to take the weight and see how much clearance we've got between the bottom here and the axle. So cut it out. So I've always tried to figure out how this truck was built, but the motor mount used to sit through here, so it used to have like a little angle with a bar that come down underneath. The reason why I took the motor out was somebody else wanted it more than me, first and foremost, and it had a pretty severe oil leak in it, which I definitely told the bloke when he bought it. He's rebuilt it and it's in an M500 or F750, one of the two. So always wondered and it appears that the engine was put in before the boxing plates were done, as well as the brake lines. That brake line was hidden behind the boxing plate. Also, nothing holding the flexi line, so we'll rectify that, as well as why I say the engine was mounted before, it's because the nuts are still in there. So let's fix that up, but first we're going to see if we can address this steering issue and then put the motor in. So I had a bit of a problem with the steering where it was all floaty and all over the road. So the truck's actually got one of those SIDS 4-inch odd drop axles in it, which what that means is that it's actually got these little droppers for the steering rod. So we're just taking it apart now. Everything on this truck has been loose. So this block wobbles around heaps. So we're either going to try and eliminate the block and put the cross rod over the top of the leaf, or work out whether it's going to be tight enough to run with everything tightened up properly, because we get about ½ inch of movement in the stub axle before we actually get tire turn. It's really floaty on the road, so pull this apart and see what we can do. So this is the problem with building cars. 5-minute job takes all day. So Dad's having a break, but he took all these cross members out for us. So they were all riveted in. So essentially what we did was grind the top of the rivet off and then hammer it back through. Ended up using the air chisel. Some of them were in such a spot that you had to use the air chisel to actually cut the top of the rivet off and then try and drive it out. So in behind the steering box there was really tight. Just managed to get them out. So while he's been doing that, I've been looking at the steering. The stub axles have been drilled, so they've been drilled out to about 9/16. So what we're going to do is, the original ball joint's only ½ inch, so I'm going to get some sleeves made up. I'm going to drill them out to 5/8 and then put a sleeve in for ½ inch, and we're going to make a new crossbar with Heims joints, so we'll be able to get all the steering out of the way and above the axle. So just before the motor goes in, we've had a look at what we can do about this steering. I'll go through it a little bit more. The 1-inch 3mm wall, left to right and above the axle this time. So we don't think it's going to be a problem because of the distance between here, and that's pretty constant seeing as it's so close to the center of the axle itself. That distance there shouldn't shorten up very much at all. So I'll put the motor in and see if it clears. So we're just at the point now where we're going to put the motor in. So here it is. So FE base block. It's already got Edelbrock Performer heads, so the same as the wagon. They're RPMs. Standard fuel pump, water pump. It's been internally balanced, and yeah, as you can see it says 352. 352. So I've also got a C6 to go in it, which is what came out of the truck originally. So we've got a tail shaft to suit, but we're going to try and squeeze the motor back a little bit, so might have to shorten the tail shaft a bit, but it can be done. Because it is Sunday, had to get the roast on. That roast was pretty good. As promised, I'll show you where we got to yesterday. So it is the next day, it's Monday afternoon, 5 o'clock, just finished work for the day, so here we are. Got it all set in. So pretty cool motor. As I said, it's got Edelbrock heads on it. It's also got a set of Cal Customs rocker cover and a Hawaiian manifold. So FE stuff's not the easiest stuff to come by, especially performance parts wise. So when this motor come up, I just had to jump at it. It was a good deal. Come with the C6 and converter as well, so I'll put all that in. So motor itself isn't actually centered yet. We still need to pull it over a little bit to the right hand side. Right hand side standing at the front, so left hand side as if you're driving. Probably about the height we're going to install it, to be honest. I might try and get it a little bit lower to pull the center of gravity down and get a bit of a better drive shaft angle on it and get the trans away from the floor. But by putting it in, what it allows me to do is a couple of things. First of all, see how we're going to repair the chassis. So it does have those really bad notches in the front of it, and what I'm hoping to do is actually get away from those and just repair the rail as it was, which we will cover in another episode. So by going just that little bit lower to bring the center of gravity down, probably make the truck handle a little bit nicer, and it also allowed me to find my shift location, because when I pulled this truck apart, it actually had a C6 in it, and I gave away the low car shifter with the transmission. So what that allows me to now do is see where the trans is going to be placed and work out which mounting system I want. So I'm probably going to go with the top mount, mid mount setup. Looking at a Genie shifter actually this time, and a 19-inch swan neck. So should come up to about here, which would be about a normal stick length for a 58 F100. So I think that pretty well covers this episode. Thanks for watching. We'll be back again and we'll repair the chassis. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you go out and check out our backlog and see this thing cruising at Summernats. Thanks for watching. See you next time.